Okay, and I'll work on those offers as we wait.
Thank you. I'm trying to bring the officer or Sergeant Fitzpatrick out.
Oh, but Ruffin, she's got retained counsel, right? And so Attorney Torres wanted to speak to me about that. Okay, I'll wait for Ruffin, and then
He refused his breathalyzer,
for
Mr. Dye.
yes, for Mr. Dye, PBT refusal.
Okay, so everyone is in the courtroom at this time and the court is back on the live stream.
Your Honor, I'm waiting for the officers.
Okay. Mr. Wyrick, is the defendant in your office or somewhere else?
He's somewhere else. He's on Zoom at home.
I'm trying to bring him in too.
Okay. Through the magic of technology.
And it's going very slow.
Okay. And the officer is Kegler?
And Sergeant Fitzpatrick, but I can't seem to get him to come out of the room.
And good morning, Officer Kegler. We are not proceeding with trial today, but there's a few housekeeping matters we need to put on the record. So thank you for your appearance.
Thank you. And Madam Prosecutor, if I may just call the case so that the record does reflect who we're talking about. This is case number Z8083311, Keith Lamar Dye, DYE. This is the date and time for final pretrial, which was erroneously scheduled for trial, as I understand it. The charge is blood alcohol content 0.17 or more. Also SP 120-15281, same defendant, and the charge is refused PBT test. That matter was erroneously scheduled for formal hearing today. I understand from the clerk, from Madam Clerk, that she does have recollection that it should have been scheduled for final pretrial. So for the record, Mr. Keith Dye, if you're in the virtual courtroom, please say your name for the record.
Keith Dye.
Thank you, Mr. Dye. And representing Mr. Dye, Attorney Patrick, your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I please assign up Court Jermaine Wyrick. My P number is 54352 on behalf of Mr. Dye, who consents to this matter being heard on Zoom and waives his constitutional right to be present there, Your Honor.
Thank you. And we have Police Officer Kegler. Your appearance, please, Officer Kegler.
Good morning, Officer Kegler, badge 4308 from Detroit Police Department's 8th Precinct.
Thank you. And Officer Kegler, did you get notification that this was a trial date?
So the notification I got, yes, it said trial.
Okay, we apologize to you because apparently that was in error. And Sergeant Fitzpatrick, I understand, also checked in, but we're having some difficulty admitting him into the virtual courtroom. Is that right, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Madam Prosecutor, your
Yes, Your
appearance on the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Tamika Horn on behalf of the people of the city of Detroit, P70303.
Thank you. The court did have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Wyrick for a moment before we went live on the YouTube channel. And Mr. Wyrick advised of his information that this was actually supposed to be a final pretrial. Further, he advised the court that he had never at any time waived his right to a jury trial for Mr. Dye. So that's why the court wanted to put all of this on the record, on the live stream, so that we don't have any confusion in the future. So Mr. Wyrick, your client is asking for a jury trial, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I've been advised that because of the pandemic, they have rescheduled jury trials, but only one trial at a time is being allowed in the building. Ms. Horn, Madam Clerk, am I correct with that information?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat that?
No, I just said my understanding was because of the pandemic, they have resumed a limited jury trial schedule and only one docket at a time, one courtroom at a time is being allowed a jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor. And that date for courtroom 334 is October 11th.
So Mr. Wyrick, that's kind of a take it or leave it. If you want a jury trial for this courtroom, it
I
would
am,
be
but I missed all of that. Oh, all right,
future
I'll
devices
let her know.
feedback.
Did you let her know it kicked me out?
Is that, Madam Court Reporter?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't notice that it wasn't muted. It kicked me out when you were on the record. And I was trying to let the clerk know.
Oh, so you didn't hear anything we said?
No. I was trying to let her know. I was calling the courtroom.
Did you, you didn't get the case number or anything?
No, I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. That is the nature of the beast we're living with, the technology beast. So with your indulgence, I'm going to read this information into the record again, because that's the reason that I wanted all of you in the virtual courtroom. This is case number Z8083311, Keith Lamar Dye. Blood alcohol content 0.17 or more. This is the date and time the docket reflects for trial, but that information was in error. The court is also calling SP 120158281, same defendant. The charge is refused PBT test. And this is the date and time indicated on the docket for formal hearing. But I'm also told that that information was in error. Mr. Keith Lamar Dye, if you're in the virtual courtroom, please give your name for the record.
Keith Dye.
Thank you. And Mr. Wyrick, your appearance again.
Attorney Jermaine White, P54352, on behalf of Mr. Dye, who waives his constitutional right to be present there in person and consents to this matter being heard on Zoom.
Thank you. And Police Officer Kegler, your appearance.
Officer Kegler, badge 4308, Detroit Police Department, 8th Precinct.
Thank you. And now we do have Sergeant Fitzpatrick. Sergeant, your appearance for the record.
Sergeant David Fitzpatrick, badge S279, Detroit Police Department.
Thank you. And Madam Prosecutor.
And good morning, Tamika Horn on behalf of the City of Detroit, P70303.
Thank you very much. And the court would like to apologize for the officers having received notice that this was a trial date. Somehow the clerk advises that it really should have been a final pretrial date, but it was scheduled for trial and formal hearing. And so the officers were notified. Mr. Wyrick has informed the court that he had information that it was only a final pretrial and that he has not received discovery. Is that right, Mr. Wyrick?
I had a written discovery. We've had that for a while, the police reports, that type of thing. What we're still asking for is digital discovery, the body cam, the dash cam. That's the only thing we're asking for.
Now, I don't know if that's available. Is it, Madam Prosecutor? This has been a while. And my experience is the police do not preserve that evidence unless it's asked for within a certain time frame. And I don't know if you did, Mr. Wyrick.
We did. We've asked since the initiation of this case to no avail. So this isn't new.
And Madam Clerk, if you could help me, what is the date of the ticket?
Yes.
Please, thank you.
Mhm. May 25th, 2021.
Okay, and let me check to see.
In the meanwhile, while Madam Prosecutor is doing that, Mr. Wyrick, we are limited. We have a limited schedule for trial. And the date for this courtroom, the only date that we have so far for a jury trial would be October the 11th, 2022. Are you available on that date? And are the officers also available on that date? It would be in person inside the courthouse.
That's fine with me. What time will we start, Trina?
Now that information, Madam Prosecutor, Madam Clerk, what time are the in-person trials starting?
I believe they're in the they're scheduled for the afternoon. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, it is. So I'm assuming it would be 1:30. There's not a specific time, but it just says in the afternoon.
And it also requires that a pretrial be held the day before to confirm whether the trial is going. And the people are open to a pretrial date prior to then as well.
Now, okay.
And Your Honor, if you may, just in reference to the discovery was sent over October 27th, initially 2021. It was completed from our paralegal. We have an email dated January 25th, 2022. Mr. Wyrick, in that particular email on that date, once it was completed, was advised that there is no video. And I believe that in the October email with the discovery that was sent, there was also notification that there was no digital video.
Okay,
I
so
would
that
just ask,
Go
if I
ahead.
may, Your Honor, who did the email come from? Because I even kind of double checked my emails this morning and I just looked under my client's name and I didn't see anything. Who did the email come from?
Marita Slack, she's our paralegal.
What email did she send that to?
ATTYJAW1@ameritech.net.
Okay, so I'll double check it, but
Okay.
okay, if it doesn't exist, then I mean, at least that answers the question. But,
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't see your initial request. I do know you do snail mail sometimes because I've gotten snail mail from you. So I'm not sure when it was requested, but I immediately usually get on it
Yeah.
so that I don't forget.
Yeah, it was requested back in August, so yeah.
Okay, so there is no digital discovery available, Mr. Wyrick, so we're going to have to go with the documentation that you have already received. Is that what I'm being told?
And that is as to what we have
Confirmation,
now.
sir. I need your oral confirmation.
For me, yes.
Okay,
It's fine with me because there's an adverse jury inference on it. And from what I understand, the Detroit Police Department by federal consent decree are required to have this, but I mean, it's fine with me.
Yeah, and we've had, some motions to that effect because of the 90-day retention policy for
okay,
digital.
well, if there is an evidentiary motion to be heard, I would like that request to be in writing and before the date of trial, Mr. Wyrick. The trial date at this point is October 11, and that is a Tuesday. So that means if we were to have a pretrial the day before to see where the trial is going, it would be Monday the 10th. And that wouldn't require the officers to be here. But probably, Mr. Wyrick, it would require your client to be here so that if anything is going to be waived, the defendant would be here personally to do that. Or so are we going to schedule the 10th for that purpose for the final pretrial prior to the October 11th jury trial date or earlier? Or you're not ready to do that right now?
It's up to you guys, man. I'm fine either way.
Okay. And then I guess we can continue still offline to communicate if you had any questions, and the people will make sure we provide any additional discovery that becomes available on an ongoing basis.
Okay, so Ms. Horn, you're gonna have to help me with this. Is 1 day prior to jury trial date adequate, or do you want to go to the week before, which would be the first week in October? You know, and I'm thinking, Ms. Horn and Mr. Wyrick, that it would be helpful if we had a scheduling order for the court to enter. And maybe you can work that out between the two of you offline. If what we've agreed to is the October 11th jury trial date. I mean, that's the one we really need to make sure. And if there are going to be any motions, maybe we can work backward for that purpose offline, and we could get that in writing, maybe stipulate to the order. Ms. Horn and Mr. Wyrick and the court can enter that, so it will be part of the record, part of the written record.
Okay, I'm not opposed to that, Your Honor.
Mr. Wyrick?
Fine with me.
Okay, so if the officers have no conflict, can we let them leave at this time? Ms. Horn?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. We don't need their testimony today.
All right, then. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sergeant
officers.
Patrick and Officer Kegler. You may disconnect from the hearing and go keep the city safe, please.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
You too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, anything further for the live stream? Mr. Wyrick or Ms. Horn? If not.
What time, I do
go
have a
ahead.
question. What time would the pretrial date be on the 10th?
I would say 8:30 for that.
Okay.
Okay, and just if you would just kind of work through scheduling order for me,
Okay.
and I'll enter it as long as you stipulate to it. Okay, do you want to go into a breakout room for that purpose?
We can, Your Honor.
I do have one. Is Ms.